there he is.
Okay, you know what?
Wow.
This
Yup.
new shit.
Mhm.
Okay, we gonna take that back. Yo, what's good, world? It's your boy JoJo Jovan. I am here at the Privilege Show, the socially charged, debatable, and dope Privilege Show. I got four of the illest co-hosts, three of the illest co-hosts in the game. I got Isaac. What's good?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
What's good, G?
Oh man, you know, out here just living in the outdoors.
Well, you are in the outdoors. As we can see.
That's what I'm doing.
Social distancing at its finest. Seth, how are
You know
you?
what I'm saying?
I'm good. How are you?
We gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm just sipping my tea.
Also, a cup of tea, it looks like.
Yeah, everything's everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're tea, huh?
We're here. Hello, Liam. Welcome, y'all. So this is episode. Shit, we pushing on through this thing. This is episode 7 of the Privilege Show, and yeah, we've been talking lately about a lot of things, great things. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for viewing. The thing that's on everybody's. I gotta stop Kelly Clarkson in the background. That's a song.
Please stop Kelly Clarkson.
Hey Siri, stop. Okay. Now we can resume.
I see a little head back there. I see a little tiny head back there.
Sir Liam, her twin.
Say hi to everybody. You want to say hi?
Right. Look just like her, don't he?
You do.
Look dead on her.
Her twin.
Scary, like scary on her. Like, whoa,
He doesn't
crazy.
He doesn't have a dad.
Look at the have a dad.
No.
It's just him.
It's just him.
Copy paste.
And the-
Okay.
She played both parts. She's a hermaphrodite. She played both parts. Sorry, that was out of control. I didn't know. I couldn't help myself.
Listen, y'all. So let's chat. Let's talk about some things. So front page news. And we'll go into catching up with each other. We got a moment in time with each other. But front page news. One of my things on the front page news is that Georgia's governor has decided to reopen the beaches.
Really?
Beaches in Georgia.
In Georgia, yeah.
Okay, well, we're in Cali, so they can keep that shit in Georgia.
Yeah, but it's just
For what? Did they have a reason why?
Well, not suppose. It's to give people are not meant to be in the house. People should have access to the beaches and to, the public trails and stuff like that. Now, if they're out there abusing it, then of course you might have to
right.
that. But I think
What can we do?
A decision.
I mean, I think it's a bad idea. I mean, just for the fact that
it says Georgia surpasses 6,000 cases.
Right. That.
Whoa. So yeah, open the beaches, please. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 60.
Yeah,
actually,
let's go and do that.
6,700, and the death rises to 219
so beaches
in Georgia.
Makes sense.
So I feel like it's very reckless for them to do that.
Agree, and I feel like the community is in an uproar because, you know what I'm saying? They stopped it. They said we're gonna shut it down. We no more beaches right now. And then all of a sudden now it's back to somebody else like, no, we're gonna open it back up. It's like, huh? Are we doing it or not?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a little bit weird. I'm a no for it. Isaac, are you a no for it, or are you a open up? I think I heard you say open up the beaches.
I'm a shit no. I'm being sarcastic.
Okay, got it.
I'm a double fuck no. Oh, baby, sorry, baby's there. He said, "Whoo!" He said, "Food."
Like, whoop, whoop. What happened? What happened?
He said the F word.
Seth, are you a no?
I'm an absolute no. Absolute. It makes no sense that we decided to do that.
Yeah.
0 cents.
Yeah. I'm concerned.
I'm concerned as well, and it's going to take us into something else that we're going to talk about a little later in the episode, the depopulation effect. The building.
Why does his face look just like yours? I'm tripping. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, but Jesus.
When I'm telling you that twins,
it's just like I don't know who I'm talking. Straight up twins. Wow. All right. Continuing.
As he disappears off the screen. That's funny.
Yeah.
It is concerning to me, and I don't. I gotta be done with. I'm gonna say no, and I didn't get your thing, LaShane. You say no.
for opening the beaches, yeah?
Yeah, because I did read you. I mean, you did say we belong in public as well and in nature. Now, I don't know how you felt about it.
That's fine.
I mean, it's like this. If people had the common sense to like actually stay away from each other, like the beach is massive. It's miles and miles of beach.
They don't though.
But they don't.
Right.
So that's the thing where I'm like, in a perfect world, yes, we should, because actually sunlight is healthier for us than staying indoors.
Of course.
Especially with viruses, but like we already know people don't know how to do right. So yeah. I'm on the fence. I'm being a Libra about it.
And that's been the thing. I mean, you know, you want to go out, you want to, you know, get out there, but it's like, I'm okay with going to the beach and in the trails, but I'm not going to be in gatherings, in gatherings of 10 or more. Well, you know, that's my little take on that. But I mean, I do feel like we should be able to hike and stuff, but you can't say that to people because then they start going crazy and just doing whatever they want at that point. And
well, the problem is this, right? Here's the thing. If you say, okay, you can go to the beach or you can go hike at the Culver City Stairs, which they shut down, I'm mad about that. What's going to happen is everyone who doesn't do that will start congregating there all of a sudden because it's a spot to be at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now everybody's there.
Yeah.
So now it's like hundreds of people at a spot where they never go to, but they're there because it's open to.
Right.
Not only that, if you're contagious and you sneeze or cough or breathe and that your droplets are in the air, then a healthy person could come up behind you and
that's right.
breathe that in, and you know. I mean, I believe it's a virus. I don't think it's a 5G thing. Right. So I think it's something that's contagious. And even if I love the beach, I would love to go to the beach right now. That would be so good for me. But I don't want to go to the beach for fear that someone that might be sick may be in that same space, or I come into contact with the coronavirus, and I don't want to get sick. So
I
feel that.
Yeah. Other news. Front page news, Dr. Fauci. Are you guys fans of Dr. Fauci? Familiar with Anthony Fauci, kind of the short Italian guy, if you will, who's been kind of, the media has been saying he's been contradicting President Trump, if you will. But he's been giving us facts, giving us the most afloat, from what I can say. However, Dr. Fauci has been receiving multiple threats, both death threats and unwarranted sexual innuendos, if you will. You know, from just being Dr. Fauci. So it's a tough position for him to be in.
That confused me. You lost me. With the sexual innuendos. You lost me there. What?
Well, give us an example.
So, okay. Think about The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. You have Whitney Houston, you know, she has her celebrity. She has the dark guy who wants to take her out. But then he's also obsessed. He's obsessed with her. You don't know what he wants to do with her, kill her or be in love with her, rape her. You don't know what. You just know he's obsessed. So when you're talking about Dr. Fauci, and I'm glad I said it correct that time. When we're speaking about Dr. Fauci, he's in the eye, and you have the Republicans trying to defame him and tear him apart. Because in the media, for those who have been keeping up with this whole coronavirus thing going on, you'll see Dr. Fauci is at the backside, and also Dr. Blix or Bits, whatever her name is. She played in Twilight. She's over in the back other corner. And so Dr. Fauci has been, you know, made comments after Trump has been saying these stupid ass things, saying, oh, it's getting better. We got it under control. And Dr. Fauci is sitting back there with his head nodded, looking like this fucking fool. So then Trump will stand to the side and say, okay, Fauci, you know, you talk. So at this point, I guess what I'm saying is
It's contentious between them.
It's contentious, but Dr. Fauci has become a more respected and trusted voice for this whole coronavirus pandemic than Trump and any administration and any government can control. So I can see where the death threats come in.
Yeah.
I personally don't see where sexual innuendos are coming in at, but you may have people who think he's
an
Italian guy. You know? I don't know.
Did he say this? Where'd you get this from? I mean, the death threat thing I'm seeing, but I'm just curious about the Tawdry part of it.
This was on the article of CNN. You know how they have the recap little videos and stuff? And I guess, and I'll make sure that we have that for the viewers, for our viewers and listeners that tune in on Thursdays for our visual episodes. I'll make sure we include that for you guys. Where I saw this interview where it was both sides of the fence.
Yeah, well, he's in the limelight, so he seems to have like power. So I guess people would be hitting on him and sliding into his DMs if he had.
Shit, can some of y'all slide in my DMs? Can I get someone to slide in my DM, please? Let me get some slide-ins.
You're not getting any action right now, Isaac?
Man, I ain't getting no action. You know what's crazy is that everybody, I know all the men are sliding in female DMs to go over there for dates because it's cheaper that way, right? Everyone wants to go see you because you can't go out nowhere. But no one's fighting my shit. Gosh damn,
No
like, I ain't gonna fight in. I'll invite y'all over. I'll invite somebody over. Please. No,
Would you actually date somebody right now? Is this a good time to date
right
someone? Yeah.
No, it's not. But would I? Probably. Now the difference is, you know what I mean? Is it a good idea? No, it's not a good idea. But see, here's how I will go about it. I will go, hey, how you doing? You coming over? Okay, cool. I greet you at the front door. That's what happens. I greet you at the front door. As you knock, I open the door. And you step in. I say, here's a plastic bag. Strip your clothes off. Put it in this bag right here. Here's a towel and a washcloth. Go right to the shower. Clean off. Wipe yourself off. Boom. I did the same thing. I still smell my Dove soap. I just did it. Just so you know. My towel still. Now you're clean. Let's start from there. So I'm trying to, like, you know what I mean? Cover my tracks, trying to work it all out. But I need some attention. What's up? I need some type of attention.
What if she's infected and she's just asymptomatic?
You know what? We're all infected in some way or another. No,
what's going on with that shit? Go ahead with that shit.
You and the Georgia governor.
Go ahead with
that was a bad. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. Sorry, the wrong time for a joke about an infection. But I mean, you know what? A nigga like me, man, I'm willing to try. I'm gonna take that chance, especially if she's fine and I need somebody like her in my life. So yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. It's nothing that a shot of tequila can't cure. Sorry. I don't know.
Have y'all been getting the lonely Jones? Have y'all been getting the lonely bug lately?
No.
Not me.
Not at all. Between my family and my significant other, I don't have any space for loneliness.
Right. I ain't got kids. But I ain't got kids, so I'm good though. I'm alright.
Yeah, you're very social. I see you.
I got me a couple.
But you guys are distancing, just in case anybody's watching.
I mean, we distancing, all right. That's what we call it.
Well,
if that's the new cool word.
Don't have me take it back to Let's Talk About Sex episode and making sure we're taking all the precautionaries in this process.
Listen.
No.
It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. I'm going out with a bang. Just kidding. I need
y'all on this couch in 2 weeks. 3
all
weeks.
Jokes. I'm joking, please.
8 weeks tops. No, but
I'm just joking.
LaShane, has your dish been feeling dried out, empty?
My dish?
Damn, your dish dried out. It's your dish dried out and empty. Yo, that is hilarious. Is your dish dried out and empty? Is your dish dried out and empty? All that nigga.
No, it's not dry or empty.
you got a dried out dish? You got a dry out empty dish?
I'm not sure how to properly answer that, but I think now is a great time to get to know people. I think it's a really great time to get to know people, like going back to like actually communicating a lot more before you take someone out on a date. I think
like that show Blind Date, right? Like that show Blind Dating or whatever. Like
I mean,
YouTube,
but we can actually see each other. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Love is Blind. So you kind of like you could talk to somebody online or like whoever you're talking to because they can't really see you, so no choice but to get to know them, right? More or less.
Get to know them, but I mean, you can actually see. We can see each other, which is awesome. Right. But I think being able to get behind the social media persona, and you know, like my brows are doing crazy things, my hair is not done, like regular things that you probably wouldn't have seen if I was dating someone and getting to know them. Like, you know how it is. You want to be like you want to be put together and all this other stuff. So being that I'm working with a kid at home and, you know, life is different for all of us. I think it's a
Man.
great way to get to know people. But admittedly, I haven't really taken on that opportunity for the few that have slid into the DM.
Because they are sliding. Men are sliding right now.
Yeah,
all right.
Definitely.
Men are sliding.
So now let's talk about this slide, guys. Thanks for that transition, Isaac. This slide that we're talking about, while we're in this coronavirus pandemic crisis that's affecting the world, not just us in the U.S., it's affecting the world as we know it. I've read recently that there are a lot of phone calls, or the number of people or couples that are calling their attorneys to ask
for divorce,
for divorce, and waiting for this pandemic to be over so they can, boom, boom, boom. So here's how I categorize it.
I know a couple of people.
While we're in this, and let's talk about that scenario, if you will. In a moment. Here's how I've categorized it. During this pandemic crisis, there's so many things in there. Pandemic.
Epidemic.
A beautiful nightmare, crisis. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, within this, I've come about it and I've said, during this time, couples are either going to be baby booming, as we've been saying, the little memes and jokes in the house fucking like rabbits. Okay. That's one.
Yep. Little infected babies.
Okay. Yep. And then the other thing is you have couples who are now looking to get divorced. You now have the category of the cheaters who were cheating, and now they in the house with their spouse, and they can't text their sad nigga or female, And then now we're going to add the other extra category of it was just there. So we have we went through it. We got the baby boomers. We have the cheaters. We have the divorcees, and now we have the fourth category of domestic violence cases. And
I heard.
That don't have a safe haven to go to because we can't leave the house. So they sitting there getting Ike and Tina, or
beat on.
And I'm making light of it through joke, light comedy, but it is a serious thing. They're looking for kind of hidden outlets for these people to be able to call or make a little signal if they're safe, or if they go to do an essential run, wink at a store clerk or do something to let them know that you're distressed.
Damn, not a store clerk.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like that,
I don't know about winking at a store clerk, but I'm just saying.
I understand. No, I get it.
Yeah, it's getting very, very detailed. So, LaShane, what was that experience like with the couple or the scenario? What was that like that they shared, or what did you get from that?
I've seen where before, I mean, obviously we're talking about people's relationships that were already in trouble to begin with, right? And so they were trying to work things out, and then we all went and shut down. So I think it's just helped them better understand, who they were when they made the decision to get married and where they're at now. I don't want to say regrets, but I think that they ultimately, the couple that I'm referencing, they recognize that they were significantly younger, and so their idea of marriage was a little skewed. And the reasons, while they still love each other, they maybe weren't reasons to get married. And so that's where they're at, and having to sit at home with each other and not be able to, go with the guys here, go with the girls there, and constantly kind of avoiding those things and making it so that you're only in the house together for 4 or 5 hours right before bed. Like, all that's done. Everything that they've been doing to avoid the truth, that's been stripped away. So now they have to sit and deal with it. And they came to the terms that they're gonna file the paperwork, which
I don't blame them. Shit.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm not a fan of divorce, while I know that it's necessary for a lot of people. I'm always that friend that's like, are you sure? Like, therapy? Have you tried therapy? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? But yeah, like, I think that there's a lot of blessings in this shutdown and everything that's going on, because it's all of us to confront our shadow sides of ourselves. So, but yeah, I am seeing that.
Well, what about filing papers to get rid of your children? Because you got to see them all the time now. they're going crazy. Parents are losing their mind with these kids.
I don't.
I
can't relate. I mean, my son, he go to school, get out of school at 3:00. But I mean, just those 6 hours at home doesn't change my life. Like, my children are under control. They know. The only thing the weird part is the homeschool. The homeschool thing is hard to do when I have to work from home. But they're my kids.
Yeah.
I feed them. What are you talking about?
Home or, right.
People acting like that their children are off at boarding school and now they're home. They don't know what to do with them.
They don't know what to do with them. Right. It's too many hours for people who pawn their children off to
get to know your
school.
Children.
Yeah, but they don't want to though, because you know why? Because they're mistake babies. Well,
my children weren't planned, and I don't have any problem with them being
exactly.
around me.
You
so
don't,
there's that.
Because you're a good mother, and you didn't make any mistakes.
But you know what?
But there are so many mistake babies out here. I can't. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I've been a parent since I was 20 years old, so I think that I'm also speaking from a different place. I have grown children too, so I can imagine if you're. I don't know. I'll just say this: when people ask about that, like, what are you doing? I'm just doing I'm making slight adjustments, but my life is a life that I love. I can't not love my life, so I can't be bothered by the people that I brought to this world being at home with me.
You're happy. You're happy.
Admittedly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This shutdown, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I never had the vision of being a full-time parent.
Right, all the time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all the time, all day, 24/7.
Right.
Like, it was an investment. Like, but on the other side, like you were saying, get to know your kid. So I think I pretty quickly shifted my mind frame around that. And it was kind of like, well, let me see a little bit more about like what he's doing. I took a step back instead of trying to get him on my schedule, what I needed him to do. More observant of like, what does he like to do? What is he saying that he wants to do? Because kids will tell you exactly who they are.
Yeah.
And so it's been a really great experience, but I will not lie. I was like, full-time parenting, I didn't sign up for this. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and I actually saw a meme that said, "Why don't you start raising kids that you can be quarantined with?" Like, think about that. The people who are going nuts behind their kids being at home, it's like, if you don't like the kid, you raise them to be that, or you did raise them.
I agree. Or you got to try harder. Harder. Yeah.
Now
I know it's a shock for people who are working parents, and you can, have the luxury of having a nanny or daycare, and that very much was how I raised my older kids. Yeah. When I had Isaiah, I wanted to have the opportunity to do the stay-at-home mom thing and the work from home thing, and so I feel blessed in my lifetime to experience both, and I know that it's an extreme shock to people who are used to, especially if you're career driven. Then there's nothing wrong with that. For you to have it all, the family and all that kind of stuff, and for everything to be moved into your living room is a huge shock, I'm sure. But the meme I saw, my girlfriend posted, she said something like, for all you people that laughed at us in our 30s that don't have kids, how do you feel right now? And I was like, I'm chilling. I'm still having a good time. I'm never lonely. How are you feeling? You know what I mean? Like, I'm noticing this, like, people who have kids and don't have kids trying to shame each other right now. I don't know how I feel about that, but I definitely said something.
Yeah, since we're talking about this coronavirus stuff, that's a good point to talk about that, because, funny, and I'm gonna let our listeners here, for those who weren't able to tune in, and even maybe some of you guys, but we had a mother. One of we call them on the Privilege Show, guys. We call them the people. So when y'all check out our Privilege Show posts on the Privilege Show Instagram, we're talking about the people who have had it. And they're usually funny, comical posts of real users around the world, social media users, sharing their experiences. So this is just the audio clip of one. And she keyed me when she keeps calling Trump. So here's the audio.
Trump. Get away from motherfucking kid. Listen here, Trump. I don't know what's going on. Whatever the fuck you put in this head, because these motherfuckers need to go back to school. See, I ain't got enough money to be for the motherfucking weed man. And the dispensaries ain't giving no goddamn discounts for this shit. So Trump, you need to contain this shit, or tell the motherfuckers over there in China that they need to contain this shit. Because
Ew.
Not China.
China.
Please.
Take me to jail all you motherfucking wanna, because I got a motherfucking card.
Wanna.
Ain't my brain set up right? You come get me.
So the people
Trump?
have had it. You know, so
Matter
we
of
talk about this parenting thing. Some parents they going nuts. You know, they just told me, I just heard that.
She's a bad parent, though. She's a bad parent.
Is she bad?
All right,
her
sorry. No.
She needs her head.
No, she's bad. She's bad because of the way she talks. That means she talks the way around her kids too. Motherfucker this, motherfucker that, motherfucking bad ass little nigga, you ain't shit. She does all that shit around her kids. Okay? So her kids are bad. Her kids are bad. Like she's bad. So she's getting her shit right in her face and she hates herself because the kids are bad. Bottom fucking line is her kids are shitty because she's shitty. You know what I'm saying? So if you're shitty to your kids, they'll be shitty to you. So it's a fucking mirror reflection of your shitty ass.
That's good.
How shitty that was? What the fuck was she saying right now? Motherfucker this and who wanna? What is wanna a word? Wanna?
Rona.
Whatever the fuck she was saying. All right, listen. Check this shit out. Check this shit out. She looks bad. Her energy's bad. Her face is bad. Her kids are bad.
Listen.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
Shout out to
Talking
Privilege
crazy
Show
about that.
podcast. And that's the Isaac Privilege. Shout out to Privilege Show podcast. I feel
That's me. I said so. Isaac said that.
Isaac said that. Isaac Privilege.
Holla at me.
So grateful to have my co-host here. You know, we all are here. But yo,
Get out of here with that shit.
listen, on a lighter note, Tekashi 6ix9ine was released from jail because he didn't want the corona.
Right.
You laughed at that.
Fuck him too. I'm saying, how about that one? I mean,
He was released from jail, and so LA's
he
mayor.
quiet as shit right now, though, ain't he? Quiet as shit right now, ain't he, though?
Well,
Didn't
not
say not one word.
Thank you for saying
He said
that.
something?
He did say a word.
Oh,
LA's
word?
mayor-
Okay.
LA's mayor today said within the last 24 hours, yo, if y'all see any non-essential businesses still operating,
To report them.
to report them, and I'll give you a reward. Now, what this
So
report
that Tekashi?
yeah. So then Tekashi 6ix9ine goes from his Instagram account
No.
under it and says, "I got you," or something like that, and puts a little
Okay.
link or something like that.
Well,
So-
that's smart because he's trying to relate and be cute because he's a snitch ass nigga that wants to make sure that snitching don't matter. And to be honest with you guys, I hate to say this, but snitching really doesn't matter because we're in a whole new era of life where that is no longer what people care about in the hip hop community. Well, when it comes to how broad the community is now, you know what I mean? I mean, what would you have done in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Would you have told when people are doing you clearly got harm for you? You know what I mean? But also, are you gonna be a man and stand up for what you've done? I mean, it can go either way. You know what I mean? But that was cute though. That was a smart post that he did though. For real. That was real smart. Shout out to Kashi for that shit.
mean, you know, make sure you good. You gotta start dishing out cash to start paying for security, bro.
Yeah. No, he is. You gotta understand. He was offered a $10 million contract in prison. Like he's been offered money already. Like they want to do his life story. He gonna be okay. As far as cash is concerned for now. The question is how long is your cash gonna last? That's up to you. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know if it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know if anybody really wants to hear from Tekashi right now.
No one does.
Unless
no one does.
The coronavirus Cardi B remix. I mean, right now ain't shit to listen to. We don't want to hear from Tekashi at least.
Well, but you know what? To be honest, though, white kids do. People that aren't from the hood do. People that aren't really affiliated with this type of lifestyle, they love Tekashi. Wow. I know guys that are my age that are like, oh, Tekashi's out, he's gonna be the biggest rapper ever. Like, oh, whatever. But, yeah. People are waiting on Tekashi, which I find absurd, but it's a fact though. It's a fact.
Speaking of new music,
yeah.
So our updates this week that we've seen, rest in peace, rest in heaven to Bill Withers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Touched us, our parents, our grandparents, us.
Yeah, man. Us.
Yeah, for multiple generations.
You know what I mean?
Songs from Lean On Me to
Yeah.
Lovely Day to
Lean On Me was a big movie even. Like Lean On Me was like for my generation, Lean On Me was like the movie. You know what I mean? Like it showed it took you, it gave you a light into, you know, into like the grimy side of the ghetto, you know what I mean? And like prospering and coming out of it with a positive black role model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was
Mr.
Yeah, exactly. That's big for us. Big for us, you know?
Yeah.
Big for us.
It is big. It's big. Other, you know, quick celebrity news is a lot of, you know, we since this coronavirus stay home 15 days to quarantine now, turned 30 plus. We've been experiencing, love that picture, Seth. We've been experiencing.
Oh, look at sexy.
I know, right?
Okay.
We've been experiencing.
Hilarious.
We've been.
But hold on to it, homie. I know you got it right now, but I'm sorry, I'm talking to you.
We've been experiencing. God, it made me forget what the hell I was. We've been experiencing since this lockdown. Okay, since this stay home lockdown, 15 days, now turned into 30 plus.
Like that.
We've been experiencing.
Let's come here. I'm listening to you. I'm sorry.
A surplus and people going live. We've been seeing DJs going live. So now what we're seeing is a lot of. What's good? What's good?
What's good?
Show. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm on the podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever real quick.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Hope y'all
What's
good.
happening?
Hope y'all staying safe. Hope everything is everything.
Blessings. Blessings.
Sorry, man. I wanted to show my friend to my friend.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's love.
Yeah.
Love.
I won't say no names. But I want to show my friend to my friend real quick.
That's
right?
funny. That's funny. That's love. That's love.
Mm-hmm.
So we gonna keep that rolling. And hopefully, you know, when we can get back together, have a few people in, a guest. He could be a guest. Come on in, talk some
For
shit.
sure. For sure. Yeah.
But and thanks for that, Isaac. Thanks for, because we got to keep the love and the.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
We've been experiencing a surge and people going live, which I'm tired of seeing a lot of motherfuckers going live looking dry. I'm tired of it.
Looking dry.
Yeah.
Looking dry. Don't
Looking
know
dry.
talk about, but just going live. Just because, and I'm okay with people being creative and finding their new norm. I can't hate on that. It's not a hating moment.
Right.
I'm just saying, bring value to the live. Bring
Yeah.
value to the live. That might be the title.
Bring value to the live. Yeah.
Bring value to the live.
Experience the
People.
DJ be bringing value to the live. So now what we've been saying is now music producers going, you know, doing their battles back and forth. And it's been so amazing this last week or these last few days.
Yep.
We've had Timbaland and Swiss Beats. We've had Babyface and somebody coming up. We've had T-Pain and who was it?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Lil Jon.
Lil
That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dope. So we've had a lot of those moments. And so with music, where do you see it? Like, what you been rocking to, Isaac? I mean, are you in a mood to listen to new music that you can share with the listeners and viewers, or are you kind of on a wave of listening to some of the oldies? Ain't really tapped into music right now.
Yeah, like, you know, as far as like all the new music, not very much. But what I have been listening to is The Internet, which is a group.
I love The Internet.
Amazing. Fucking amazing. Right?
They're awesome.
You know what I mean? And you know, and they're slept on in a sense of like I feel like her music is grown, you know what I'm saying? But yet and still relatable to everybody if you want to listen to her. I mean, the song Girl is just clearly the best song.
I love that one.
She's not new, but she is slept on in certain categories. Yeah. She's dope, right? Yeah. So, you know what? You cut off.
You have to give the whole collaborative.
I am. I mean, it's kind of like Sade.
I get what you're saying.
It's like Sade is a group, right?
It is she.
Sade is the group, right? But it's Sade. So let me be clear. It is the entire group. Their band is amazing. What they do vocally is amazing. Their songwriting ability, overall, they have a beautiful sound. I'm not sure if it's soul, but it's definitely in a category of just bomb music. So if you want to hear something that's not, just super hyped up, but you want some good music, throw them on. Like, sure, they're incredible. So, and of course, Ro James. Please go ahead. What?
Shout out Ro James. Shout out Ro James.
I mean, Ro James, I've been listening to him a lot. You know, it's just like a chill vibe. Her, of course. Xavier is also somebody that's been slept on a lot. You know, it's just there's artists out here that we're overlooking.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think
Ro James pay more attention to?
My brush is vintage, don't hate. Do y'all think Ro James
is
the new age Prince?
Who?
You know, I think he wants to be. I think he wants to be. I think for what he does musically, he is great at it. It's kind of hard to put a label or to categorize anybody with Prince, in my personal opinion, because of the legacy and the years he's put into the music and the fact of his writing, his singing, you know what I mean, his instruments. But that's great. You know what I mean? I like Ro James. I'm not ready for that, though.
Next, I'm gonna throw in a question to you, Seth. From the internet, Isaac mentioned one of his top tracks was "Girl." Do you have any other ones that you like from them that you can name? I know naming songs is like kind of remembering people's phone numbers nowadays.
I know.
Song, but "Girl" is one of my favorites. While you kind of look for one.
Yeah.
"Girl" is one of my favorites too. I'm trying to think. There's one more that they have that I love. You have to give me a second to bring it up.
Well, also, Fora is really good, so I'll wait on that. Fora, she's really good also. Dope-ass artist.
Who?
This, Fora, or Four, however you want to say it, F-H-O-R-A. Depends on how you...
Fora.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But, you know,
special affair
yeah.
from them was the internet was this. Yeah, we'll play it on there. But Special Affair was one of my little joints. Girl was one of my joints. Internet is a dope little collaborative.
Yeah.
Sharing that, Seth, you can get. We'll put that on y'all on that Thursday for y'all to see. Drop that on the Privilege Show Instagram for y'all to see what our little favorite tracks are. Lashane and the Cosmos and the Zodiac signs. A lot of people are upset because their birthdays are being just shamboozled.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
See
My
ya.
birthday's on Tuesday.
Oh, you'll be inside.
Seth, your birthday?
Yeah, I will.
We gonna just say this shit. If you have a moment, let's do a Privilege Show. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we can.
Because you know we got to do what we can for each other because people are missing and they're upset about their birthdays and just shame.
Yeah.
And you know, mine's May 3rd, and I feel like I'm gonna miss mine also. So you know,
wow.
you're not alone.
Mine is in November, so hopefully we'll.
Thank you. I didn't need your co-sign up. You are like I got
You
it.
definitely are.
You sure will be inside. You'll be inside.
Listen,
So both of you niggas is inside.
I'm trying to keep hope for us, bro. But if they put Washington on lockdown to June 10th, and they got us down to April 30th, you know, to keep the hope. But we'll have a privilege of birthday.
Listen, I'm already skinny. I'm skinny, right? We all know that. I don't need you guys to fucking chime in with that. I'm skinny, and now I'm getting skinnier with a bigger belly. It's getting bad out here. I can't even work out. I'm getting.
The block.
Huh?
You can take
the
block to stay fit.
You said what? Say what?
Walks around the block.
Don't do that to me.
No.
That's not how I was
I gotta start doing that.
How about that?
What?
You know what? That's all I have left. Don't do that to me either. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you right now. When this shit is over, there's gonna be a lot more alcoholics in the world. Okay. Alcohol prices are skyrocketing right now beyond any other year. It's nasty right now.
Isn't it funny how there's no shortage in the wine and alcohol aisles? Like that's
zero.
Always fully stocked.
Zero. But I can't get toilet paper though. I can't get toilet paper though. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't get paper though. You know what I mean? Like, alcohol all day long.
Wine and spirits is not tripping. They got you. They have a steady supply, but
I had to give Dick for some toilet paper. Like, this is where we're at right now.
What?
Okay. I had to give Dick.
Okay.
Did she have let me just ask, was it a 4-roll?
Look, Isaac, when the next time I see some toilet paper on sale, I'll send it to you because I actually post toilet paper alerts on my Facebook.
I already fucked for it. We're good. I fucked for it. We're good.
Are you fucking for a roll or are you fucking for 4 rolls?
I don't want you to
nigga, I fuck for 12 rolls.
Okay.
That's my 12-roll dick. Okay? Not 4-roll dick, not 1-roll dick.
Yeah. That's my nigga right there. You can't fuck with
Sorry,
you're just being, it won't make
That's rough.
fucking for one roll.
Bitch, that fucking for a roll.
I don't want that
For
life for
12
you.
rolls.
No, but
Talking about. No, please, thank you. I'm joking.
Keep us updated.
That's
Those,
Please.
solid.
Sorry about that. I was joking, though. It's all for jokes, just so we're clear.
Lashane, what you say?
Sure.
That's just a solid friend. She don't want that life for you, bro.
Man,
I don't.
I don't want that life for me. Nigga, fuck up on toilet paper.
The next time I see something on sale, I'm sending it to your phone. Just buy it as fast as you can. Don't do that
let
to
me
yourself.
know. Don't do it to myself. I ain't never been horny like this before in my life. I'm horny for toilet paper. Shit is crazy. Yo, can a bitch get paid at least? I'm not even getting paid. I'm getting toilet paper.
No. No.
Aries season.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Are the Rams, Aries are...
I'm all ears.
Sorry,
Lachey.
sorry about that. Lachey, sorry about that.
No, this is good. Let me give Lashane, if you will, I'll give a quick Aries briefing on what our Aries are giving, and then you can give us what's going on right now with what you got.
That sounds fantastic.
So Aries, today's the 5th zodiac. Being an Aries, born on April 5th, your personality is defined by your quick, creative mind and your ambition. In all that matters of life, your creativity makes you charming and likable. While this has earned you many friends, it is your ambition that has earned you admirers. That's a high-level, lighthearted Aries zodiac.
Okay.
Well, so
I'm into it.
So, and I didn't know it was your birthday. So hey, Isaac, you
happy birthday.
Lashane, Aries, and with us, with this 444 portal that opened up yesterday, for the light workers, our light worker listeners, people who follow zodiac astrology and cosmos, energy, universe, so on and so on. What can you say for Aries? What's going on right now in the aura and the?
Well, Aries actually it starts the zodiac. It's the first astrological sign. So if you're into the zodiac at all, this signifies like the actual new year. So to me, it's kind of perfect that the 444 portal opened yesterday in Aries season. And the portal opened the portal that it is obviously not a door. But it's more of a high frequency gamma energy that connects us to what the number 444 represents. And that's actually an angel number. And so if you happen to see 444 and just in general what this time or this season is really about, it's about having a moment to pivot, having a moment to choose your vibration, and really to recognize what we've been doing the year prior. So if we've been dealing with a lot of fear, shame, guilt, anger the year prior, so that's even February and January, because we're talking about the astrological year, it's a moment to kind of sit, go within, which is happening because of the shutdown, and really determine if that's the same energy you want to stay in, whether that has to do with people, jobs, or just the way that you've always done things or thought about things. So it's really giving us a moment to connect to a higher realm so that we can pivot in a way that's in our highest good. So what that means is choosing high vibes, high frequency energy, which is love, which is compassion. You're also seeing a lot more of that happening worldwide, right? Just as simple as, before if somebody ran out of tissue, you would not be hearing about somebody saying, okay, I'm gonna send it to you. Like that just didn't happen. Of course, we're in different times now, but it's kind of forcing us to be more compassionate and empathetic and think about the people that we normally probably wouldn't think about. I saw someone post something that kind of goes along with it, but it was a celebrity. I think it was Erica Mena. She posted about how the first and the second is when a lot of people are getting their food stamps and things reloaded. And so
I got food stamps, by the way. Go ahead. Sorry. I just got them shits. I just applied for them shits. Continue. My bad. I'm out of control.
Okay.
I'm listening.
But she was posting about how, do so because there are a lot of people who didn't have a chance to go to the store because they're like that. And even if you have to go, if you could avoid the thing, have the WIC or EBT logo on the shelves. And so obviously I'm aware of this. My mom raised me on food stamps and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to sit on me? Okay. And so I just thought it was just really awesome that she took that moment. Clearly she's not affected by that at this point in her life. But to take that moment to share something that she was aware of and educate the rest of us, because for some of us, it's not going to hurt us to not go to the store those days or to buy an alternative of something else. So I just thought that was beautiful, and I've been seeing lots of other things. I'm really more curious to know what things are you guys witnessing, where you feel like there's much more compassion around you guys. What have you guys seen? Did you just raise your hand, Isaac?
Yes.
Because I'm doing what your son doing. I'm being your son. He's doing that. I'm doing the same thing. Hey, you're doing the same thing and shit. Both kids. We're both kids. Okay, I'm a child at heart.
And we love you.
You were gonna say something.
Thanks.
What are you experiencing, Isaac?
As far as what? People?
Okay, I thought you had a question because I thought you raised your hand.
No, I was just being him. Being the same as being the same.
We'll ask who matters right now. The true areas in the room, in the building. Seth, do you resonate? Does any of what LaShane shared as far as the zodiac, or where have you been with what she said, or where have you been feeling? Like in your zodiac, your birthday is coming up on Tuesday, which is the 7th. Like what I know you've been. I'm just gonna say you've been in. When we talk, you're in high vibes, high energy. You're always like, I'm doing great. My kids are doing great.
She's always a good high vibe and energy. Let's keep it real.
That's how to keep it.
She's always high vibe and energy.
Let me give the viewers and the listeners a tip of advice. Staying high vibes.
Look at her gloating smile. Look at her smile. Her private gloating. I'm always a good vibe smile. See that little baby wants a little bit.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I'm always a good vibe smile. We see it.
I'm not always high vibes.
Staying high vibes, staying high energy, as LaShane spoke of the last episode that we have to do in this time frame. I feel like you do that pretty well, and it keeps the skin tight. It keeps us looking young.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
How are you been feeling on the Aries note with what LaShane was speaking of with the zodiac? Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, it definitely resonates with me. I feel like she's spot on with everything that I heard. And I think that just, the high vibe thing is funny. I'm just like everybody else. So I have my highs and lows, but I do think that laughing and having fun and that kind of thing is something that keeps me level, and just makes it bearable. You know what I'm saying? Like even just making jokes out of some of this stuff is just a way for me to kind of cope. I could definitely find plenty of serious stuff in serious moments. I'm not in any danger of running out of any of those things, but the finding the good is really easy for me. And just just trying to stay positive. I think that's really awesome that you said about Erica Mena. I have not seen a lot of those things. I think because I'm researching and looking for other stuff, so it's nice to see those things when you're able to. And those are those stop moments where you're like, hey, wait, no, everybody, you guys are focusing on the wrong thing. We all need to be on this tip. I like that. I'm glad you shared that, LaShane. What I've been doing specifically is I've been looking on websites periodically throughout the day, and when I find stuff that people are looking for, I just post it on my Facebook page. Or I hear people say, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Even my boyfriend and I, you'll mention stuff to each other. And when we saw each other, we both gave each other toilet paper, which is so cute. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We greeted each other with a thing of toilet paper. We swapped anyway, but it's one of my girlfriends was driving around town trying to find some. And, when I hit her up, I was like, I have some for you. and she said someone else had reached out to her that, you know, she had some for her. So I've just been like posting like random links for just necessities for folks, and people like been hitting me up privately like, thank you, I bought some, like I didn't have that, or, you know, just, you know, I know it's not that big a deal, but it's just crazy how
it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I think it is when you really need it too. And
it is.
You know, if you don't have a car, or if you don't have like money, you know, it's like, so some of the timing of some of this is really off for some people, especially because they didn't have the chance to prepare, you know, or the foresight to know that this was going to go longer than they said it was. So I think at this point, you know, seeing the media and they're just how they've handled a lot of things. When I say they, I'm referring to the government, media, whoever's trying to pretty much guide us through this process with their propaganda. I think the best thing folks can do is just start to really use their own discernment for what they need to do. I think you need to just really trust your own gut on what you need to do to prepare yourself, whether you believe it's a virus or this 5G. Just create a plan and stick to it.
I just almost spit my drink out because the way you worded that. I love the way Isaac just floats in. Oh, and he's posed the whole time on his little thing. But how you just said it's the 5G. It's Isaac. It's all of that stuff. How you said it's the 5G. I mean, we just got to take what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to do.
Regardless of whatever you think is going on, something's going on. So whoever the boogeyman is at your door, like, prepare.
Yeah. Now that's funny. It's funny you said that. And I got to bounce back to this Zodiac thing to ask you one more question for our creative community. I saw a meme that was like, you know how everybody doing the $10 challenge, that little thing.
Yeah.
So it was it was the lights off challenge, the Drake lights off challenge. And so it was a couple that was in the bathroom. So it's like,
I saw that
with the Candyman standing in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That was the funniest. So they did the little body start to drop or whatever, light, turn the switch off, whatever Drake is saying. I know the lyrics, but I've had a little salute. So I can't get the lyrics on point. Excuse me, Champagne Poppy. But they were doing a little thing and they flicked the switch and they're changing clothes and you see Candyman in the back and all of a sudden the phone drops. It took me. It took me. But
that was the best one so far for me.
It was my favorite too. The favorite $10 sign, I think we touched on that last week, was when you come in the little line and they're doing the shake and then slide out. Well, there was the one guy who had on keep just changing wig, or she was just.
I like that one.
Yeah, that was good. So tapping back real quick to this, Zodiac thing with what's going on with coronavirus. Your birthday coming up. A lot of people are upset that they're missing their actual birthday due to coronavirus and stuff. You are a creator. You have a very big presence, not only on Instagram, but as well as YouTube as well. And so how has that been affecting you creatively as a creator? Have you been seeing trends change within the YouTube and Instagram community, the way you create content, or is it now you're creating more content?
All the above as far as changes. Personally, I've struggled to create. I haven't been in the best space to create. When I'm under stress, I have to worry about money, then I'm not thinking about funny stuff.
Right.
So but I knew it was going to come back to me. And the other day I forced myself to create a video where I said, sometimes for people who experience stress, you're not as creative. And the things that are in my head, the things that are permeating in my head are really the concerns about what's going on. And so I said for myself, hey, if you feel like me, you're not alone. Because it seems like some people are flourishing. Some people are coming out. They're talk show hosts. They're chefs. They're comedians. I mean, they're living and thriving, and it's awesome. And then when you see people doing that, you're like, damn, I should be out there doing that same stuff too. At least that's how I feel. Sorry. Because it's a great opportunity for you to get in front of a large audience of people. Yeah. So you do feel like this is a great time to put yourself out there. I think I'm past it though. Putting that video out there was a lot of weight off my shoulders. As far as what I see, a lot of the content out there is really having something to do with the virus, with what's going on right now. And I'm seeing folks that struggle who talk about things, especially folks who are in those spaces where they talk about luxury, clothing, exotic things, like going places. It's kind of hard for them to create content right now because they're talking to people who are probably on furlough at home, can't go nowhere. So it's like some of those people are having to figure out how to, meet their audience where they're at. So I feel like right now is a great time for all of us to engage and to find audiences that we never touched before, because so many people are looking for distraction, looking for entertainment, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And the HausHill Entertainment moniker is it's only Jay-Z, shout out. Isaac Hayes.
What up? Can you hear me?
Piggybacking off of we're good. We can hear you. Piggybacking off of Seth's, off of what Seth had just said. Out here in LA, a lot of us are gig workers, as they're calling it. We are 1090. A lot of us are 1099, employed entrepreneurs. So how has that been to you guys, or you applying for unemployment? Like, how has that process been? Because they've said that this breaks the record of the United States for how many people apply for unemployment in any type of situation. So has it been slow? Like, what's been your experience with that?
Well, for me, y'all can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't see me, you can hear me. For me, I use my street savvy ways to get around it, and I was able to get unemployment pretty quickly. It's my first time filing for unemployment, so I'm not familiar with it, but I know the tricks of the trade, so I made it happen. But for my friends, it's been pretty difficult. Like, they've been told to try online, and the online is shut off, and try to get in tomorrow, and the process has been nasty because a lot of people are out of work, and they're overwhelmed. But for mine personally, they pushed me through so fast. They were like, "What's your name? What's your employer? How much did you make? Cool, you're done." I was like, "Oh, cool." I could have lied and I made $75,000 a year, and then it probably gave me more than I would have had, but I didn't do that. So, anyways, live and learn.
I have to say that I still feel like even your experience, Isaac, in recognizing the difference between how easy it was for you and how it's much more difficult for others, I think that all has to do with the 444 portal, because the people that I've seen who are like a lot of people that I've seen personally that are out of work, I'm not going to say that all of them weren't doing things that they love, but most of them were literally hated their job. Yeah. Like, it was awful. And it was interesting to see them be so devastated, considering no one
How much they hated?
No, like when the job ceased to exist and all this other stuff, it was like you hated the place. Right. So whether or not you got rent money at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, we're not waiving the rent, so I'm not saying like it's all good, but when you have to choose, like when you have to find the silver lining and find the good in things, there's a lot of it. There's the fact that because everybody's affected by it, not just in the U.S. but worldwide, there's a lot more compassion. So get evicted. If you call your creditors, they're working with you.
Yeah, they are.
But generally speaking, like I was telling one of my girlfriends, I'm like, our whole working adult lives, you've worked to survive. Right. This is a moment for you to really figure out what it is that you want to do. What's going to make you happy? You know what I mean? And one thing that I've also noticed is also people who are out of work, it's been easier for them because they've already had their passion projects. And I feel like it's an energy thing. I do feel like it's an energy thing. I think it's a lot for the people who needed a break to be able to really invest more into their passion projects or what their dreams and goals are. The world is slowing down around them to allow them to be able to do that in a way where they won't be judged, where you aren't saying, you got to pay this bill, you got to do that. You don't have time to go off on this pipe dream, so to speak. And so it's like, I'm just been very observant of that. I've been talking about opening a couple of businesses, and because the world around me has slowed down, I have a couple of LLCs going. So it's just like, I don't know, I think that it's all related somehow.
Now,
it might be.
Initially, we were going to chat about this Tiger King documentary, but we're gonna have some breakout, not documentary, but yeah, episode documentary, if you will, that Netflix has premiered. But we're gonna have some breakout groups about that this week. So y'all please check into introducing www.theprivilegeshow.com. You guys can sign up to have chats with us individually, to talk about specific things, whether it's new norms or coping through the coronavirus crisis, new music playlists, Zodiac, not readings, not psychic readings. We're not saying that, but you can get your dose of all of that good stuff. And then as well, I got our Facebook people here, so that's why I had to swoop away for a sec. But our Facebook viewers are here. But we'll talk about that Tiger King, because that's an interesting debate that we had.
That's kind of crazy.
We had some controversial debates on, and if anybody, you guys that are watching and listening, y'all know that this podcast and show is all about socially charged topics, debatable topics, and this is a debate podcast mainly. We drop music items and gems, new music on y'all. We drop a lot of new gems on y'all and things like that. But I think, to cap this whole thing off, we talked about Corona. We gave y'all a little bit of celebrity news. We talked about how people are feeling with missed birthdays and things of that nature. Isaac is ringing our doorbell, y'all. This is Cheers. Everybody knows we're at Cheers right now, y'all. Yeah. Welcome back, Hayes. Isaac Hayes is in the building.
Y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm back.
We were just talking about the Tiger King. I was about to say Tiger King thing. We're gonna have some breakout chats.
Yeah.
But as far as now is concerned, what do y'all want to leave with? I don't feel like we have anything to debate about per se right now. I mean, we talked about the Georgia beaches reopening and how the people aren't excited and happy about that.
Right.
We talked about last week, Meg the Stallion is her twerking going out of style. We talked about a lot of things that are debatable. So we need our listeners and our viewers to chime in to The Privilege Show on YouTube, to The Privilege Show on Instagram, and let us know what y'all thinking so we can keep these debates going. If y'all want to be a guest on the show, make sure y'all head over to www.houshillmedia.com or theprivilegeshow.com. The podcast airs every Monday at 8 a.m. Episodes drop every Thursday at 2 p.m. What do y'all have to leave with the people today? Like, what do y'all want them to know? At this point, what's important to you? Speaking from your heart, speaking from creatives, speaking from comedians, speaking from actors' standpoint, speaking from mothers, speaking to the homeless. What can y'all leave? And we're gonna all give our little takeaways for this. And we'll be back with y'all with some.
I'm still in yours. You said, did you say go live with a purpose? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's right.
You talk about people being dry.
Yeah,
that's right.
Moisturize.
Have y'all?
Moisturize. Yeah.
Have y'all experienced many people? Have y'all seen a lot of live drives? Are y'all?
I've seen a lot of lives. It's not a live situation. It literally wasn't.
It's dry.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's dead. It ain't.
No, it's not a live situation, right?
Yeah, it's not a live situation.
Right.
It's a you and your friend. Your
best
friend.
You and your friend. It's a you and your friend.
It's a you and your friend situation. Yeah, somebody's overstressing because she's funny as hell right now.
But the rest of us,
she's back.
We haven't seen that. So,
okay.
And Seth actually shared a link with, and I've invited a few colleagues and friends and supporters out. Seth sent the link to shout him out, Seth. He's a great DJ. He had us going.
DJ Kaleem, my boyfriend. He did a live today.
And
I shared with a few friends.
Yep. His Instagram, DJ Kaleem.
DJ Kaleem.
Did you hear her voice? Did you hear her voice? What you sound?
My voice changed.
You talking about her boyfriend? DJ Kaleem, my boyfriend. Right.
He's special to me.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Yes. That's good. That's what's up. That's good.
Yo.
Well, shout out to him, man.
Yeah, she had us vibing. They had us vibing. Isaac, what do you got for the people? What are you feeling like you want to leave with the people in this day right now?
I mean, I guess it's all pretty similar. You know what I mean? Like she said, like right now is a good time for anybody that wants to be creative to do their thing. Like there's no excuse right now.
No.
Like you can't say, "Oh, I don't have time. I gotta work." You don't have to work.
Gosh.
So if you don't put something out, maybe it's just not meant for you to do anything. You know what I mean? You got to grind. Right now it's time to grind.
Wow.
I mean, you know what I mean?
It's not for you.
It's not for you because there's nothing but time. There's nothing but time right now. Literally.
You're a dream killer, Isaac.
I know. You know what? I really am. You know what? But also it's motivation for myself because if I'm sitting back like, yo.
You've been doing a lot. I'm proud of you.
Well, you know, I'm sitting back.
And
I'm not doing enough,
I see you over there too. Both of you guys have been doing I mean, I don't know if it's algorithm and what, but I just see everyone's just blossoming. It's just really awesome to witness.
Thanks.
Yeah. Right. But we can also do more. We can also do more. You know what I mean? Because I'm not doing enough. So if people are out there that want to be entertainers, so this is your platform. It's your time. Put your best foot forward now, because you won't have any more free time than you're gonna have right now.
So true. That's really good. Yeah. That's good, Isaac.
Now, how have you been as an actor and as a comedian? How has this coronavirus affected your line of business? And I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but you know, just to give our listeners and viewers a little bit last cap off for you, has it affected you much? Do you feel like, I mean, I know your income, all of our income at some point is affected or is affected, but as far as your gigs, are the agents, are they on your line? Are people in your DMs for work, or like what's going on? Are you self-producing? Unfortunately for me, I gotta work a regular job, so I'm not working, right? But nobody is. As far as comical or being funny, like that ain't changed. You know what I mean? I'm putting more work in because I have more time. Yeah. So anyway, put more work in. If you don't put more work in, it's not for you. Simple as that. If you feel like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, when you're working, why can't you do it now? It's just, you know what I mean? I mean, you got to figure out what's for you. So for me, as far as what I'm doing, I'm just writing. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating as far as what I want for myself. What's the avenue I want to go, and I'm just trying to really buckle down and think about my future. That's for anybody that wants to do whatever they're doing. Right now's the time.
I like it.
That's it.
I hear you.
What's up?
Yeah, appreciate you. We lost our host. Is he there?
Jojo.
No, I'm here. I'm just letting.
You there? You sure?
I'm letting our other.
When niggas say something when you're in the room.
Listen,
we don't know where you at.
I'm letting our.
I need you to say something.
LaShane, what are you how are you feeling about the whole thing? I mean, I think we're all kind of enduring and getting through this thing together with our own. Someone made a good point. Actually, it was my mom, not someone. I had to think about it. My mom.
Someone, her.
No, but I have to remember because we do chat with a lot of creators and people in business, But my mom was like, a lot of people are handling. Let me come back on the screen. I was letting our.
Can you though, please? That'd be great.
Our Facebook people get some, y'all.
Okay. So, got you. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So my mom's was like, people are handling this and anxiety in different ways. What we have witnessed that we didn't mention in the front news headlines, which is not necessarily front news headlines type of thing to pump it up, hype the media, but what I've seen in the last few days have been reports of people actually killing themselves because they can't be alone. They're not used to being alone. They don't know what to do. They're going
I have friends that are lonely and they are really having a hard time.
Yeah, we're creative. Yeah.
First of all, hold on. Is your friend a woman?
Yes.
She shouldn't be lonely then. There's no point to being lonely. Impossible right now to be lonely if you're a female. Impossible. There's niggas everywhere right now. DMing.
Well, quality is a concern.
I'm sorry. I mean, what?
Quality is a concern.
Yeah, quality, right? Well, then you know what? Then you ain't bored, and you ain't lonely. And you ain't lonely. If quality matters, then you ain't lonely. Okay? You can get lonely.
Girl.
You ain't lonely. Okay? If quality matters, then you ain't lonely. That's how I said that.
Tell her
and you can tell her, hit me in my DM. My number is 323-839.
That is funny. Yo,
I was talking shit. I'm just being silly.
I want to see you healthy and alive and living after this is over, okay?
Whoa. Take it easy. Jesus.
You know what?
Like I'm out smoking crack, shooting heroin and fucking raw.
No.
Damn.
Well,
okay.
Listen. Still people out here on dating apps eating ass.
No, you're right. Though.
What is happening? Wait, what?
Episode out. No, we're not ending this. But check the episode out for our Facebook users. Check the episode out tomorrow. coming to y'all at.
You can't just say that and then do a drop.
I know, but no, I'm not going to
do a drop. And they do a drop.
I want to get this to correct.
Trigger somebody.
But we also have to censor because some of our, we have, you know, some kids on the view. But
oh,
no,
dude.
what I was gonna say is you still got people out here still eating ass. You still got people out here eating ass. And I just want to be alive after this is over. We've heard the coronavirus.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Now it's living on plastic. Now it's living on clothes. You can walk in a dog and give it to you through the mouth. I don't got time for all that shit. Let alone do I want to be. So
it's living on dick and pussy. It's living on dick and pussy. Then it's right in the front.
You should expect that.
Wear a mask while you eating that.
Permeating everything.
Wear a mask while you eating that thing.
Damn, that's what it's.
You got the mask.
Scrub ass.
Well, that's why Isaac does the whole cleaning process at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Bam.
Do the Dougie. Do the Dougie. That's right.
That's smart. My house.
That's a tag right there.
Mama used to say, "Take your time, young man." Lashane, what do you have? What do you have to leave for us? What do you have to leave for the people this week, episode 7? And thanks for that chuckle, Isaac. That's good.
Yeah, it's always good to have fun.
I think, everybody kind of already said. Isaac and Seth kind of covered some really important things that I think are things that I've also been kind of adopting, I would say. But the other side of that is, I don't want to productivity shame anybody, right? But there's so much TikTok. There's so much of these other things. And it's like, use this time to do something of value. I'm not saying that having fun and having a moment is not okay. Of course it's okay and it's needed. But I've been honestly taking advantage of my professional friends that do have the downtime to to find out more about, real estate, what does it really mean to be an optimal buyer, and talking to brokers about what is my financial health really as it pertains to those things, and what do I need to do. I've been educating myself on stocks and bonds. Last year, I diversified my portfolio and am up like 10 grand.
Good for you.
Mind-boggling for me.
Damn, baby, what's your name? Baby, what's your name and shit? I'll let you for a minute. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't help myself. You guys go ahead.
And so my point is like, I remember at the time when I did that last year, I was in a situation where I felt like, what is going on in my own world? Like, kind of what's happening on a massive scale. That was happening for my own personal life last year. And so same thing, like, I took a moment to say, like, this is a chance for me to pivot. This is a chance for me to change my trajectory. So let me go get educated about the things that I don't know, and I don't want to go sell stocks and bonds for a living, but I do need to know how these things work. They're talking about our economy crashing, but stocks are actually not doing that bad. And if you pay attention, people are buying more stocks, and specifically,
right now's the time. Yep.
And so I think that there's a lot to that. What I will say is I don't know whether or not this is an actual virus. I'm not going to sit up there and say I believe in 5G to the effect that I'm not being cautious of a virus. But I am looking more into it. And I will say, I just want to read off some of the symptoms of radiation poisoning.
So now,
nausea and vomiting.
And listeners and viewers, and this is fact, I believe in this. But let me just say, after you read this, and Seth, Isaac, if y'all have to drop, I understand. But now, if y'all have to drop after this, after what LaShane shares, because now she's bringing us into a debate, and we weren't planning on debating.
I'm sorry.
No, right, listen to it.
But I understand, Seth. Whoever has to drop, we're gonna keep rolling. Thank y'all for tuning in, the viewers that are here. But go ahead, LaShane, because now I have to pose a question.
Yeah, go ahead, LaShane.
I have to pose a question to you to come with your radiation, because I'm with you, but I have to pose a question to you after. So go ahead.
Okay. So some of the symptoms of radiation poisoning are nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, headache,
fever, dizziness and disorientation, weakness and fatigue, infections, low blood pressure. And so these are all of the symptoms that I believe you have if you have coronavirus. Some of the others, though, are hair loss, bloody vomit, blood in your stools, as well, which we haven't really been seeing. However, what's interesting to me about that is I know that those other things that I just added, those tend to happen with longer exposure. And so I'm curious to see if the same way, you know, it's been progressing as it can live on this surface, it can now be on this surface, it can now be on that surface. I'm very curious to see if the next symptoms that they say is you may experience bloody vomit or blood in your stools and hair loss. And if so, then, you know, I do think that there's a lot to it. Like I said, I've been following the stock market and things more so. And I subscribe to the Motley Fool, which is, it tells you what to buy, what stocks are hot right now and get in where you fit in. And it was highlighting 5G about maybe 3 weeks ago. And so what was interesting about that was I was looking into it and they were saying that 5G is at the forefront of the arms race.
Which we have spoke on multiple episodes, and for our viewers and listeners, please check out our previous episode, season 2, episodes 1 through 6 so far. This is episode 7 of the Socially Charged, Debatable, and Dope Privilege Show. But Shane, to your point, I agree with you, and I've been stating over the last few things to spread my opinion on knowledge as far as what comes from the CDC, CNN, and multiple other sources, the gossip sites, my own research, the history of these plagues, all of that good stuff, the influenza, the black plague, all of that. So I've educated myself as well as you, but my question is, I do feel it is layered, as I've stated before in previous episodes. I do feel it's a war for 5G. It's at the forefront. I do feel that the coronavirus, I know that the coronavirus is a real virus. I do know that there's something going on with the government that they don't want us to know. I know that 5G is the real thing. What I will say, and then what I've posed the question to a lot of 5G, I won't say conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theorist part that I have with it is, I support you. When I was telling Seth and Isaac earlier, I can go through and try to connect the dots on this thing, right? And I think we both have, and we don't even have to debate about it a long time, but just to kind of see what each other think about it. Trying to connect those dots, I kind of gotten worn out because Carrie Hilson was saying that, okay, the radiation and the waves from 5G and all that causes coronavirus. But my thing is, I think that the 5G thing, I know it's real, but I feel like it's the war for world domination, new world order, $1, government control. We track where you're going, surveillance, face recognition, virtual reality, augmented reality, all that. I feel like it's definitely that, and U.S. wants to get to it before China. However, I can't say that the wave radiation and the wavelengths, and I'm not a scientist, can't say for a fact, but I can't say that they're that strong to where it's excluding the rich, the wealthy, and the white. So we know I'm just saying, why would President Trump, Bill Gates, etc. Bill Gates has children, I can assume grandchildren, maybe grandchildren of grandchildren. Why would he be setting them up to be born and to just be fried as soon as they're out of the womb? They're fried from 5G radiation. I mean, we're having to think about it. They're not immune to any, and I'm not, excuse my passion, it's not against you. It's just saying against this, because I want to know. We all got questions. My question is, does it exclude them? If Bill Gates, who's recently stepped down to work on more philanthropic opportunities such as tracking the coronavirus through location services and Google getting together with Facebook, I hear all that. I understand all that. But does that exclude their family members and their grandchildren and their you know what I'm saying, their future? Like,
I don't think that it excludes them, but if you're in on it, like, I mean, if you in here, just a little tidbit, I don't think Hollywood is that creative. Okay. And what I mean by that is I don't feel that a lot of these things that come out in movies are completely just creative genius. I think a lot of it is because people have access to information that's never been disclosed. And the thing is when you eat a lot of high saturated fats, heavy in sugar, all of that other stuff, there are arguments that you're easily manipulated mentally. And so taking this back to the few little things that I've experienced traveling across the world, their food is not sugary, organic is the standard. You know, people look at Americans as silly. They look at America as Disneyland. They don't take us seriously as a country. They don't take anything that we decide seriously. They look at us as we're foolish children who are being manipulated by our government. And so to go back to that point, I think that a lot of things are systematic. I think a lot of things are layered. And so do I think that their kids are exempt from it? No, but I think that when you have an insight into it, you're able to better prepare. So going on to say the same thing, like most people when they get into money, most people when they start meeting friends in high places, what happens? You know, I don't see a lot of people. What Beyonce used to have an endorsement with Popeyes or KFC, right? Now she's vegan. Okay, so it's like you're seeing this across the board, period. Once you get into an upper echelon of the world, there's so much that changes. Why? Because you have access to knowledge, right? People are going to put you on. It's the same thing, you know, in my own personal life that I've experienced. Once I let go of certain lifestyles and started to catapult myself, I met other people on those levels that were like, yo, this is what you do to clean your credit. Yo, this is what you do. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. No, don't listen to that. People don't know this. Right. How many gems in your life have you been given that you're like, dang, why am I just now knowing this? Why am I just now being told this? So like I'm saying, I agree with you. I do think it's layered. Do I think that their children are exempt? No, I don't think that they're exempt. But if you are able to buy a piece of land, because in America, you can buy a house, but you don't own the land. So if you're in a position to buy the land, then you control everything that happens on that land, which includes whether satellite, 5G towers, whatever it is, oil pipes, all of that. You control whether or not that happens. Now, the problem is in America, most people don't own the land, so the government can come in and do whatever they please on your land, which happens every day. So what I mean by being exempt, they're exempt in the fact that they've purchased their exemption.
Got it. That makes more sense. And you're the first person that has been able to kind of summarize that for me, you know, with hearing about this 5G thing. You know, do I feel the radiation and stuff? Yeah. So, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
My thing is, I don't have the proof. I do believe strongly that I believe strongly 5G and other things around supporting 5G are the things that this pandemic is keeping us away from, so that we can't pay attention to certain bills that are signed into law and all these other things, because we're focused on tissue. We focused on water. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel that. However, at the same time, I'm not going to put myself, my child, and the people that I love at risk, because this virus may be very real. And I do feel like it's a possibility that the virus is real and it was unleashed on purpose so that these things can happen without us paying attention to it. We're going to be too worried about our friends and family dying. What I will say is interesting, which I've been hearing from people, one of which works for the coroner's office, is they're saying that even if you die of something else, but you had the virus in your system, you're being classified as a coronavirus death. So I think that adds to the pandemic, the mass hysteria. And I do feel like most viruses, you can have it living dormant in your body. You can be a carrier for many, many years and never show face until you're met with high stress or whatever the case may be. So, you know, do I feel like it's as serious as they're saying it is? Probably not. But we're in a position where I feel like you kind of just have to take caution. But, yeah, I'm paying attention to all these things. I'm paying attention to the stock market. I'm paying attention to the fact that these houses are not dropping in price. So that's where my questions come in. Like, if we're in this dire state that we're in, then why am I not seeing that ripple effect in all these other markets?
So let's, and that's a great point. You just paused me to think about that for a moment. And I think that this is a little bit more layered. It's not conspiracy. I will say, and wouldn't you agree it's not conspiracy for sure?
No, I don't consider it's conspiracy.
Now, one thing that just did pop up in one of our users, I keep saying that, but one of our viewers sent us is just released a tiger, 4 tigers tested positive at a New York zoo for coronavirus. They were showing 4 to 5 tigers were showing symptoms, respiratory, immune deficiency. We're gonna end that. I mean, we're gonna let you finish that out, but we're gonna pick back up on that because now we're getting fed new information every day. First, the dogs in China, there was a lot of people releasing their animals into the wild because they were afraid that they were going to get the coronavirus from their animal.
Right.
You know, then now we're not hearing anything about animals having coronavirus. They may have traces of it if someone's infected in their homes or something like that. Now tigers are getting coronavirus.
I think in general, with the 444 portal and with people coming together in the way that we are, in general, the world is in a higher vibe, even amidst all of this, not to discredit, the domestic violence and all these other things that are happening.
Yeah.
I think I don't believe that we were as easily influenced by this as the powers that be expected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just like a lying girlfriend or a lying boyfriend, the lie has to evolve to stay, to keep you in check, right? Yeah. I do feel like it's like being in a toxic relationship. And because I didn't buy this and I still went there and I still did that, now it has to evolve. My question is, are these animals testing positive for the virus, or are they testing positive for radiation? Or are they not testing positive and you're just saying this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have questions that people cannot seem to answer because now all of a sudden it's a story out that the tests were contaminated with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Like, so what is this about? And one thing that I will just in my because I can go down the rabbit hole forever on this. But one other thing that I've noticed is these, plastic container style coffins that they've had for people who die from this. And some people are saying it's either you get buried in this plastic thing so that your body doesn't go into the ground, doesn't do the natural thing, or you're being burned. And so for me, it's like, okay, again, that sounds like radiation poisoning because a virus cannot stay alive in a dead host. So why is there the need to discard these bodies in such a way? Except for radiation. Radiation will still be in the dead person's body and will seep into the ground and all these other things.
Right. I want to interject while you said that, and thank you for bringing that up, just to share with and I don't know if you've seen it, but there was an article released a couple of days ago where it was talking about, the earth has certain, and we'll share this and we'll go into this actually next episode, but just to give a briefing to our viewers and listeners, how there's a thermal layer under the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what they're saying is scientists and researchers are saying that at a time where years and centuries and decades ago, animals were ice age buried under this, ice sheet under the ground, under the sheet of the earth. And I'll pull the article up and have it ready, accessible for everyone. We'll have it ready for you guys on the Privilege Show Instagram page and everything else. But it was saying how now they're afraid that because the ice is melting, that these animals and people and animals and carcasses that have been preserved by that thermal layer, or that, and I'll get the correct terminology for that layer of ice,
Right.
That because global warming is melting it, that those gases mixed with H2O and you know what's in the air is now could potentially release the Black Plague back into the air. That's not a conspiracy. I mean, it's real. If we passed away from coronavirus today and they just burying people in the ground, or they frozen in the ground and their body, you know, when you think about that frozen and where it's like the freezer, think about your freezer when it's that ice frozen and where it's like frozen and you just know when it melts, it's still going to be a perfect shape. Now, once that hits the air, it starts to decompose, and whatever was in that body that killed it is now releasing into the natural ozone layer. So I'll post that up, but that's something we're going to dive into next week. But I wanted to mention that because you were just talking about, you know, how everything has been affected by this, you know?
You know, that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that because I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know the lifespan and preservation of a virus. But I do know that this country is built on a lot of lies and its inability to ever admit wrongdoing. So, you know, I think it's very interesting. I believe more so, unfortunately, that people from our own government would release viruses that have been stored to, you know, population control, tons of things, you know, and our Earth is dying, and it sounds cute to go to Mars and all of that, but we can't live there. So, you know, at the end of the day, if the Earth dies, then we die with it. And so, you know, I'm curious to know about all of that. I'm really excited to go into that a little bit more. But, you know, I'm not exactly on the bandwagon of Bill Gates as this amazing philanthropist. You know, I think it's interesting that he stepped down in the timing that he did with the release of, or I should say with the start of the pandemic. And then all of a sudden he's into cures and he thinks he has the cure for it. You know, didn't he foreshadow this very same situation, and he named it? So
depopulation numbers and what the world would need to get to where we needed to be by a certain time frame.
Absolutely. And so do I think it was done maliciously? Probably not, but I do think that it was done specifically for some of these reasons. I do think that everyone around the world believes in, you know, global warming because it's real. And I think Trump is a fantastic puppet. We get so sidetracked by his statements and we get so absorbed in that we are not focused on these other things. You know, he's not the only CEO to step down. In the past, you know, 6 months, there's a lot of CEOs of major corporations that have stepped down. So, you know, very curious to get into more of this as more stuff dives in and we have more time to dig into it. But yeah, I think that we should be having more of these conversations, and it's not to scare people, but I think it's important to, you know, not give in to the media that has a specific agenda. Our media is censored. And if you are not aware of that, I would implore you to
employ you. Do I employ you to do it or implore? But
yeah, I'm like, I'm not paying you a check. So, but I think, you know, this is the time to have some of these conversations and find out more about your governments and find out more about just how it all works.
And definitely doing your own research, you know?
While the internet is still free, because, you know, in some countries it's not.
Yeah, before they hike it up or before they start censoring it too much. We're gonna tap into some things next week. I think next week we're gonna go ahead and call that conspiracy theory. And we can talk about a few things, and we're gonna get a few people, a few of y'all riled up in the group and have some socially charged, debatable and dope debates. So in the meantime, in between time, LaShane, you feeling good? You gonna be good in the rest of these next little few weeks we got? You know, you feeling good right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. A lot of support, you know, from my job and my friends, and
One thing I was meaning to say was I really love that, you know, earlier in the week when we had checked in with Cess and, you know, she was just like, you know, I need a minute. And I think it's so important that we all do that and just be honest with ourselves, because we are in a culture traditionally where it is, you know, you go and you made this commitment, so you stick to it regardless of what it is that you need in this moment. And so I think it's really important that we do those things, and that's something that you've been really wonderful about with the entire crew of co-hosts. You've been very supportive of, you know, what everybody's new norms are. And I think that that's fantastic. And it helps reduce my stress, you know, and I feel like it's just another layer. It's another thing that helps me become a better mom, a better creator, a better friend. And so as I go off into the other passion projects that I'm working on, it's making me be a little bit more mindful to hopefully not let these moments and these things that I'm learning and taking advantage of now, I don't want to lose them when this is all said and done. Meaning, I probably won't cuss out the person who's behind deadline, but instead I'll encourage communication and honest communication so that we can always stay on the same page with the different individuals and creators and artists that we team up with going forward. Obviously within reason, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people in this time need some positive energy. They need some positive direction. They need positive motivation. They need prayer. They need, you know, a little guidance. You know, again, not everybody's okay with just being alone right now in quarantine. We touched on a lot of things this episode, and I'm grateful to do that. You know, this is becoming our new norm for right now. Do I feel like the world is going to get back to business? Absolutely. The U.S. is, and it's been stated, we were chatting about it earlier, the U.S. is the country, the power country, you know, and we can't stay down long. Trump does have a point when he says the U.S. wasn't built to stay down long. Mm-hmm. We're not a third world country, and it's not no shade, nothing to nobody else. It's just, we're not that country. And while I don't stand, and while I know that government doesn't stand for the Americans, you know, we stand for each other, and we are getting more woke and enlightened and to, you know, be aware of what's going on so we can empower and motivate each other to take a stand for better things in the future.
Right.
Do I believe everything is going to turn back to normal immediately? No. Am I going to be the first one heading out to a club or a bar or a gathering with more than 5 or more people, with more than 3 or more people? It's going to take a little bit. You know, my birthday isn't until November, so I got a little bit of time to kind of figure that thing out. I think you're back. I got a little time to figure that thing out, but we're going to see, G. You know, your birthday is the year 2, you're October, right?
I'm October, and I won't lie, I Halloween situation for my birthday, because my birthday is a week before Halloween, and the particular festival that I go to every year is actually on Halloween this year, and I've been debating back and forth about whether or not I want to go this year, just because, you know, my son's at the age where I can really take him trick-or-treating. So anyways, now I'm like, I think I'll just take him trick-or-treating in San Diego just to get back out there and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Now, I will say I had a great episode. You know, we're gonna chat about this thing next week, and we're gonna take some listeners, some live viewers are gonna be coming in with us next week. So y'all stay tuned to the Socially Charged, Debatable, and Dope Privilege Show, airing every Monday. The podcast drops at 8 a.m. on HausHillMedia.com, on YouTube.com. Search The Privilege Show. And our visual episodes, this specific visual episode will be coming and dropping on Thursday. May drop a little early, little gem for them throughout the week. I mean, we all chilling, right? We may hit y'all with a couple visuals throughout the week earlier than our Thursday 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time release. But thank y'all for tuning in. Please, y'all, stay safe, stay home. You know, if you do go out, if you feel the need to go out, wear a mask. You know, they're talking about wearing masks, but they're not saying wear glasses too.
Well, I say, here's the thing.
Whether you face shield, so wear some glasses. I look crazy as shit walking outside earlier today. I had on a mask, this fitted hat, some dark shades, some 90s shades that was dark as shit I couldn't see out of. But yo, if you're not going, if the virus can, if somebody cough or that same speck that they saying can, if somebody sneeze and you get one particle in the nose or somewhere, guess what? You walking around with a mask on, but you got some big dumbass pop eyes, and then now a particle get in your eye. Then what?
Yeah. I will say this.
Our eyes are low. So, I mean, you know, and then you hit a little blades, you leave it a little lower, but nah.
That's how my eyes do.
Yeah, I know. No, we've witnessed that.
Yeah. I will say this, whether you, to our viewers, whether you believe it's 5G or a virus, I'll say this. Radiation also means that you should be inside. There are other more precautions to it, but that's for me why I'm kind of like, it's probably really 5G, because it's the stay-at-home order. Safer at home is exactly what they call it for radiation. So that's interesting, but I'll say this, regardless of what you guys believe, definitely stay safe. Radiation does also mean that you should be at home. It also means that you should be protecting yourself when you're outside. So please don't take, our opinions as a reason to be negligent or less careful. Regardless, it's definitely a time to take care of yourself and your loved ones. So
yeah,
I'll
that's good.
say that.
That's good, LaShane. And also to add to that, excuse me, keep y'all motherfucking hands clean. I still see people eating Cheetos and putting fingers in their mouth.
Well, how else do you eat the Cheetos?
You gonna have to eat the Cheeto. It's a Cheeto, so you pick up. I don't have nothing to pick up. I was about to pick up a blunt, but I ain't gonna do that. We'll wait till a few minutes so I can enjoy that. But you pick up a Cheeto.
I'm like, okay.
Okay, you got something, so drop it in. Just drop it in. Just drop it on in.
Okay.
Bam. That's it. So after you eat a whole few, you ain't like.
Yes, I am, especially if I wash some. But here's the thing. Aren't we washing our hands before we eat anyway?
We are, but I just don't want to lick the fingers right now.
So then you might as well eat your chips with some gloves on.
No, because I saw the baby eating fries with gloves on. That shit was silly.
So, look, come on now. Either your body is, that's my thing.
But my thing.
We should have, you know what? Maybe we should have a little video where we show people how to properly wash your hands. Like if you were going to go into the ICU at the hospital or go visit a baby in NICU, you have to wash your hands for so long, scrub them, and you actually have to get under your nails, which I do think we all should be doing regardless. But I do think that there is a better way to wash your hands. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm licking the Cheeto off of my finger. That's one of my favorite
parts. I do need that extra sauce. I need that last. It's like the dessert to the Cheeto bag. I get that. But it's like, damn, right now it's like I don't want to be doing nothing extra. It's like barely even, not that I'm kissing per se, but it's just barely like, you really want to touch. We're social distancing, and I want to social distance from here to here to here to here. You know what I'm saying? I want a social distance even from myself.
It's funny, Liam won't lick his fingers after he eats something. He's like, mommy. He's he's cleaner than me.
That's good. And it's funny that you said that.
I did not raise him to be this clean.
As a child, I used to be the same way with, my mom and dad. You know how parents are. Like you even, here, Liam, have some, you drink your little juice, and then you're like, here's the rest of it, or you give him some of it. Not the rest, that sounds like backwash, but here's some more juice, or here's some of the juice. I would be the kid that's like, no, it's okay, I'll get my own. And it was weird. As a child, it's like, my mom was like, here's the fork. I just ate some of the macaroni. Here's the fork. Now I'm putting it in your mouth. I'm like, no, I don't want it. At 7 or 8 years old, and I think I was always caught up in the fact, and we carrying right now, but this is a great episode. We might drop this as a 2-part episode every week. But I got my own spoon and I did my own thing. It was something always about saliva for me. Saliva is a very personal thing.
It is very personal.
From a parent to a child, but you think a parent birthed you. As a mom, you're like, boy, I gave you birth. You came out this poom poom, as she said.
You know what? I'm also not one of those parents, because I know a lot of parents that will just eat the rest of the kids' food that they, didn't eat, wasted, whatever. I am not that. And Liam actually doesn't backwash, which is weird.
You're saying you're not the parent. So if you fix yourself, you know, you fix you and Liam some food. You're a single mom. You fix him some food. You fix y'all dinner. You eat your dinner, as we are, because we be hungry. But then he has, you know, kids be funny with their food. I have a 3-year-old. I have nieces and nephews, cousin nieces and nephews that like, yo, I want all this. I want even more. But when I ask for that extra, I'm not going to even finish it. They pick through it. They play. They watch Teletubbies. Not even Teletubbies. Johnny, whatever they watch. They watch that stuff. And they play over the food. It's just to get cold. You walk around tapping on your cell phone, and then you go back. Do you finish that plate? You're saying you finished that plate of his food.
I'm saying I'm not finishing that plate.
I thought that's what I heard you say. Got it.
I am not finishing that plate. Liam is very, very clean. He's the cleanest toddler I've ever met. But even with that, he's nasty. So, you know, he might sneeze into it or whatever. But also, honestly, what they learn at home is what they'll do outside of home. And he has no understanding of this is okay with mommy, this is not okay with your friends at school or other people away from home. So it has more to do with that, because I don't want him eating off of other people's plates. I don't want him allowing people to eat off of his plates. Other kids are taught different things and all that other stuff. So, you know, that's just kind of always been my thing. Like, I grew up knowing off the bat you can't share chapstick. You know, you can't drink off of someone else's drink. And, you know, that was always because people had, you know, herpes on the lips.
Yeah.
Fever blisters.
We didn't talk about that, and let's talk about sex, huh? The fever, the blisters and things, STDs.
I thought we might, you know, we
didn't educate.
I think we talked about it. But so the thing is, which is interesting because that's another virus that someone can have, and it lay dormant their entire life or a short period of time or whatever. And only drastic things sometimes will make it become undormant. So, you know, people could have it and not know. And the only way that a test can tell you, like, they don't even know what kind you have, from what I understand. Like, if you just take a test but you never had a fever blister on your lip, they won't know necessarily whether it's the fever blister on the lip versus in the nether regions, because there is no sore to show them. So that's interesting. But anyway, yeah, I was raised, you know, not to eat off of other people. But my uncle I'm the person who does not eat the chicken off the bone completely. Like, I leave a lot of meat around all the gristle areas and then the bottom of the drumstick. And my uncle knew this about me, so I always had to give him my plate so that he could finish it. And I was always like, oh, I'll probably do the same thing with my kid. Definitely not. No, that goes in the trash, and he knows to go put it in the trash. So
yeah, well, it's good to hear that you are, you know, from both sides. I was a child that was like, yo, I'm not eating none of that. And you was the mom that's like, yo, we're going to throw that away. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to even save that. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm still pushing forward. We're still pushing forward, G. It's a little, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a little awkward adjustment getting to this. I mean, we do virtual chats and stuff in you know, business and things like that, but it's getting a little awkward. Not awkward, I mean, it's convenient, but it's like we're missing the presence of face. This is some Total Recall shit that we experiencing right now.
What is Total Recall?
Total Recall is a movie that came out in the 1990s, 1980s. It sounds very dated. Excuse me. Can you hear me? You there?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm rolling up. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It's good. It's weird because you just bounced off of the screen. But no, Total Recall is a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger from years ago, and it pretty much talked about kind of the autonomy of cars, you know, vehicles. It's a pretty good movie. They remade the movie a few years ago, and we hear they were on computers. You had half man, half woman, half robot. And I watched the interesting article, a research thing about that. It was talking about, you know, how we're so close to half human. We will see in the movies how bodies are made with half human, half artificial intelligence, robot bodies almost. But
okay.
Take a second to follow me on this. 5G, when we talk about 5G is going to move at the speed like this.
Right.
5G is supposed to now be able to communicate with the cars because 4G couldn't do it. 5G is supposed to now be able to communicate with the cars in less than 1 second what we're thinking of going or where we're going and now be able to take us there. That's what 5G, that's how powerful it is, and I know you know that. When you talk about 6G, 7G, 8G, we're obviously going to have to keep going. Right now, we're depopulating with the virus because a lot of people are passing away and dying and getting ill and, not recovering from the virus. That's a very unfortunate thing. It's depopulation, they don't want population control. They know at 4G, we had to leave 4G and go to 5G because there were too many users on 4G. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, is that why?
Yeah, the broadband, the network broadband bandwidth can only hold so many people. As we grow as a population and more people, and now kids are on iPads at 2 and 3 and 4, 5 years old. Now more people are using the internet.
Like
now more people are doing.
Liam,
you see what I'm saying? So now we got to go to a bigger bandwidth that can handle more people, more downloads. And now it's even faster. So now what this specific article, to bring it back, was saying is, as we go into 6G, 7G, 8G, in the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to now start to see, if you think about this, LaShane, you think about how they're saying 5G is now going to be able to complete self-autonomized cars, where you won't be able to get into an accident. You see what I'm saying? Where it sends the data so fast that it knows turn by turn. They're saying 0.1 millisecond of that 5G is able to compress this data. So when you talk about that, and then you talk about 6G, 7G, 8G, you're talking about a network to a car. How can you not assume that they're going to move from a network capability to artificial intelligence within a human body? They're already creating a setting for people to walk without thinking or to talk without being able to talk, to have different conditions and still be able to talk without even moving their lips.
Right. I know that I saw it, which is actually really interesting. I think this was on an episode of Grey's Anatomy, not 100% sure, but they were, it was about an arm aesthetic. I don't know if I'm even saying the word right, but where, it's prosthetic. There we go. And so somehow it was connected at the nerve endings. And so the person could essentially think and move the hand, right? And so going back to, I don't think that Hollywood is that creative to come up with these concepts all completely. I think that a lot of this stuff is being done, and I think a lot of it is being done within private sectors such as military, and stuff like that,
I hear you. I just have to. I hear you.
No, you're fine. And so I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I think, I question whether we're ready for it. And I also question whether or not that's in our highest good as a community. Because it doesn't, regardless, it still is not going to solve a lot of other variables that just can't be solved, such as what if somebody decides to jaywalk? And then what? And that they were actually, you've seen this a lot with Tesla and some of the accidents that the autopilot has been in. And in my opinion, was not the cause of, and in my opinion, whether the car was in autopilot or not, I don't think that the situation was avoidable. Those are just my opinions. But so I don't, I just wonder, what is it really about? And is that necessary? I guess is my thing. I'd much rather move us to an economy or a world where, get an Uber. And that not be so crazy expensive, stuff like that. And I see in other countries where it's harder to get a driver's license, because it's easier to lose it. If you get a DUI one time in other countries, that's it. and it costs a lot. Getting your driver's license in other countries is the equivalent of getting like a chauffeur's license. Like it's like $5,000+ and stuff. Like it's a true investment. And what I like about that is it encourages more reliance on public transportation. Also, their public transportation is better. But also it does cut down on emissions, which is really, really important when we talk about global warming. And the sense of community is higher. People aren't working a 2-hour commute from home. And if they are working that far from their job, they're in a position where they can work from home. They only have to go into the office once or twice. And what I'm seeing is they have a lot of bikes. The kids have bikes, they have bikes. These people are not largely overweight the same way that we have that issue here so tremendously. They shop local. So I didn't see as many large chain grocery stores because people are not driving out to go do that stuff. They are going down the street far enough for them to bike, and they're getting enough that they can carry on their bike, which means they're more inclined to buy fresh because it's not going to go bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so what I mean by that is I think that technology is fantastic and great, and the things that we can do with it are amazing. But, what is it really about? And if I feel like if it's taking away from the human experience and the sense of community, because we do need one another.
Yeah.
I think technology can be used as ways to bring us together, which it has been lately, which is why I think they've had to evolve this virus. But, I always question that. It's, just because you can do it, should you? And that's with anything, right? Just because you can rob a bank and get away with it, should you? Just because you can murder this person and possibly get away with it, should you?
Yeah.
And I wish as a country, because I can only really speak for America at this point, I wish as a country that we ask more questions and we actually did something about it. Right now, I wish that people were educating themselves more on how our country works. I'm a little sick of TikTok at this point. Every time I open my Instagram, it's TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And I'm just like, okay, let me log off because I want to feed myself mentally. I want to be stimulated. So, and can I just say this?
Yeah.
As a community, people of color, man, we are some inventive people. We are so amazing. I mean, our life story is creating something out of nothing, right? And so I would love to see us come together as a community and just create something more than entertainment. I think that would be fantastic. I think just I'm sorry, say that again?
What else would you like to see outside of, creation?
More education, much more education about how to make it in this world. You know what I mean? How to take ourselves to the next level. I would love to see much more of that. I do understand that people, especially now, need something to uplift them and keep them in higher spirits. I too have friends that are single and completely alone, and it's not easy for them. But I've also seen some of them, start cooking clubs where we are on Zoom Thursday nights and we're all cooking together and we're learning new recipes and I'm meeting people that I probably otherwise never would have met. And there's just so many other things that I feel like we could be doing. I would love there to be a raise your credit score challenge. I would love there to be, some other challenges that I think are really fantastic and it can actually help us more than, 20 seconds of laughter,
No, I agree with you on that. With you saying that, I've been, doing choreography and a lot of entertainment based. So that's why I have to, kind of get a little bit more detail on what you, for you to specify what you meant by that, more outside of content creation and creation. But it is a time for learning. It is a time for, getting your things together, getting your wardrobe together, getting your thoughts together. And I'm really thinking about what my next step is, even as an entrepreneur, as a creative. I'm grateful to have multiple things, in my path that are setting me up for success, such as the organic beverage manufacturing company, such as an entertainment company that has a podcast network under it, digital web shows, in film school. So it's a lot of great things that's going on that, now's the time to go. So I just kind of spoke on a few things within that, but now was the time to go,
Yeah. No. Sorry, I just totally licked a blunt on the thing, a little Jay, but.
No, I had to too. I couldn't, resist. But we got some things to talk about, G. This is gonna actually
and just to say, I'm sure that there are those things out there. I have seen a couple of people, using this opportunity to what I call love us for free.
Yeah.
By sharing those gems with us on these social platforms. And I think that's beautiful and I commend them a lot. But I what I'm saying is I wish that those things went viral is what I mean to say. Because I don't want to sound like so bitter and stuff, because it's not it. But, I do wish that things that were just a bit more long-term influential were viral, but I think that also just kind of speaks to the world that we live in.
Agree. And I mean that's where we're at with this thing for this week. I was trying to see if some users wanted I keep saying users. What's a better word? Can you help me out, Shane? What's a better word than saying users?
Viewers is better, but also some people aren't viewing us. So we could you know what? I feel like this is something that people can chime in on and say, what do they want to be called? Our community, what do they want to be called?
I like, is it the privilege? Is it the people? Because I've been going with the people. I mean, the people.
I like the people. I like the people, but it could be anything. I like the people, or our people. Our people are saying, or the people.
Yeah, the people have had it. The people are saying, the people are chiming in, the people. Because the Privilege Show is socially charged, debatable, dope. And we want to get to more of those debates, those healthy debates where people feel comfortable, able to debate. Let's see if any of our Instagram.
My light is going out.
Huh?
I was using natural sunlight because Liam.
Oh, you know what? But it's not a bad vibe. Yo, if any of our Instagram viewers, and I know we went live a few times from a few different pages, but if any of y'all got anything that y'all want to ask or chime in on, now is the time. What's up, all my people? Hey, my folks is popping in. We got a whole different viewerships. We got Facebook Live, we got YouTube Live, all type of shit going on. But this is gonna be a 2-part episode.
I actually need to drop off now because I have to use the restroom. I've been holding it, I'm like shaking now.
That cuts that. I'm going to drop this as a 2-part episode. That'll give us more time to talk to our viewers and listeners about some things that they want to talk about and want to, go over. So use the bathroom. We'll catch up. Viewers, listeners, thank y'all for tuning into the Socially Charged, Debatable, and Dope Privilege Show. We appreciate y'all coming live every Sunday. Live Mondays, we come to y'all with the podcast at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The visuals to the episode drop every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all be sure to check us out. Thank y'all for tuning into The Privilege Show. Instagram at The Privilege Show. Make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube, HausHill Media, www.houshillmedia.com. Make sure y'all stay updated. Make sure y'all stay safe in these streets. Make sure y'all keep supporting, keep downloading, keep sharing knowledgeable information that is true information from the CDC websites, from CNN, that's where I visit. From those websites that sharing the truth. Stop sharing negative stuff. Stop sharing people fighting. Stop sharing things that aren't going to empower people and give us knowledge within these times of this coronavirus COVID-19 situation. So the shit is real. I've known people that have passed away from it recently. A couple over 60. and few people under 60 have been affected by it and affected by it. So y'all take this shit as real. It's real. It's not gonna stop. So in the meantime, between time, thank y'all for tuning into the Privilege Show. We ending the show on the audio side, but I'm gonna stay live in case any of y'all want to talk about some things. Check us out, y'all. Episode airing tomorrow. Audio. Check y'all soon. Stay safe. Peace.